It's amazing how weddings, the supposed celebrations of love, have a way of unraveling years of family tension. This isn't just about a missed ceremony, it's about boundaries. And what happens when those boundaries are broken, again and again, until someone finally says, enough. Let me take you back to the beginning. I'm 26 years old, and I have a brother, or maybe I should say, had a brother, who's a year older than me. We were close once, but life has a funny way of changing people. And in our case, it wasn't life. It was his fiancée. Let's call her Amanda. I first met Amanda 4 years ago. My brother brought her to our family's Christmas dinner. She was polite, charming even, but something about her just didn't sit right with me. It wasn't anything I could put my finger on at first. Just subtle digs, backhanded compliments, little things that added up. At first, I chalked it up to nerves. Maybe she was just trying to fit in. Maybe I was being overly sensitive. But over the next year, those little things turned into big things. Amanda would constantly make fun of me for being single, mock my job, I'm a librarian, as if it were some meaningless role. And she'd always ask, "Do you ever wish you were more like your brother?" in front of everyone. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to stir drama, because I wanted to keep the peace, because truthfully, I thought maybe it was me. But then, things escalated. One night at a birthday dinner for our mom, Amanda made a joke, a cruel one, about my weight. Everyone laughed awkwardly, even my brother. No one said a word, not even him. Afterward, I confronted him. I told him it hurt. I told him I felt disrespected. I told him I was tired of being the butt of her jokes. And he said, she didn't mean it like that. Classic deflection. He said I was being dramatic, that Amanda had a dark sense of humor. I told him I wouldn't tolerate being humiliated anymore. He shrugged, said I needed to toughen up. And that's when I started pulling away. Less family dinners, fewer texts, no more small talk. I didn't cut him off, but I kept my distance. I still showed up when it mattered. Graduations, hospital visits, our dad's retirement party. But I avoided Amanda as much as possible until the engagement. That changed everything. He called me, excited, telling me he'd proposed. Told me they were planning a beach wedding in California. Said he couldn't wait for me to be there. And I told him, with as much calm and grace as I could muster, I'm not going. Silence. Then, what do you mean you're not coming? I explained. Told him I didn't feel comfortable. Told him Amanda had made me feel unwelcome for years. Told him I didn't want to pretend everything was okay just because there was cake and champagne. He was livid, said I was selfish, said I was ruining his big day, said Amanda was trying her best, that I needed to let things go. And then came the bombshell. He told me if I didn't come to the wedding, he didn't want me in his life anymore. I paused, stunned. And then I said, if that's how you feel, I won't fight it. That was 6 months ago. The wedding happened last weekend. Photos all over social media. Smiling faces, perfect lighting, a beautiful bride, a proud groom, and no trace of me. My phone's been quiet. No texts, no calls. My parents are caught in the middle. My mom says she understands. My dad says family is family. But neither of them really knows how deep it all runs. They weren't there for all the whispered insults, the mocking, the passive-aggressive jabs. They didn't feel that sense of being lesser in their presence. I did. Now I'm left wondering, was I wrong? Was I selfish for choosing my peace over tradition? Was I the a-hole for not showing up to support my brother despite everything? Or was it finally time to stop playing along with people who never respected me in the first place? Let's break this down. There's a recurring pattern in families where the person setting the boundary gets painted as the villain, especially when that boundary challenges the status quo, the keep the peace mentality. But peace isn't real if it only exists at the expense of your dignity. The OP, in this case, stood up for themselves, not out of spite, but out of exhaustion. Years of subtle abuse wear down even the strongest of us. And the brother? He chose loyalty to his partner over empathy for his sibling. That's not uncommon, but it is unfortunate. Love doesn't have to be blind. It doesn't require the erasure of everyone else. You can support your spouse and still call out hurtful behavior. You can celebrate your wedding and still make space for accountability. But when someone says, "If you don't come to my wedding, you're out of my life," that's not love. That's control. The wedding wasn't the problem. It was just the final straw, a symbolic moment where the OP chose peace over performance. And that's powerful. Now here's where I want to hear from you. Would you have gone to the wedding just to keep the family together? Have you ever been guilted into attending something where you felt completely unwelcome? Where's the line between forgiveness and self-respect? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And hey, if you're someone who's ever had to walk away from people who refuse to see your worth, just know that isn't weakness. That's strength. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself. This is AITA Stories. Thanks for listening.